WFH with two guys. Now here's Benny and Dennis.
It's always been important for us to keep our businesses competitive. And a lot of times the knowledge that we bring to the table, the connections that we have, those are some great ways to start the business. But to really grow and scale your business, we have to really look beyond that. And technology is really that important linchpin, isn't it, Dennis?
It is. And the buzzword right now is AI. In my mind, and you're going to hear us talk with Dave talking about how you married AI, and he calls it HI, which is human intelligence, and how you make that more effective to help your business be effective and efficient. And so you can grow it, sell it, whatever you're trying to do with it. And so today we've got Dave Patterson with ClinchView Enterprises joining us. His expertise is really more in that MIA area to help you sell your business, but he's also in the AI side.
I think what's really fascinating about this conversation that we have with Dave is that he really makes a good point about how AI really has been developed at the enterprise level. But for us as small and medium-sized business owners, this is really important. And Dennis, I think that this was a really interesting topic, and there's a lot to this that every business owner should really listen to.
Yeah, listen in. I think it's a good one. It kind of opens your eyes. And it brings it back to your front doorstep versus hearing about news from Silicon Valley about AI.
At some point, Dennis, with every entrepreneur who's running a company, starting a company, we have to think about how we scale that company so that eventually we want to make our companies more valuable. It's not just about just doing the job, continuing to do things the way they've always been done. Technology evolves. We have to keep pace with that. I'm sure you've seen that yourself.
I mean, I've been doing this for 13 years as Works, but before that, different companies that we worked with. I mean, you think back to 1998 when you would buy gas, you always had to go pay it inside the store. But in 1998, I was a project manager that led one of the first introductions of pay at the pump. And today, no one would buy gas without paying at the pump.
No way.
If you do, you're definitely the minority if you don't. And so it's those are the types of things that are ever changing. And as a business owner, if you don't stay up on those things, you either miss revenue opportunities or your costs go up, and you could have avoided some of those costs, which then the whole key is to be profitable and grow your business by reinvesting that money. And at some point, then if you want to exit, you want that company to be as valuable as you can.
So today we've got Dave with us today. Dave, thanks for joining us on the podcast today. We appreciate it.
Oh, thank you. It's great to be here.
Absolutely. Now, we talked a little bit before recording the show, and I think you had some really fascinating ideas. But talk to us a little bit about the progression of technologies and some of the ways that works. With us, the focus with our group here, we're small, medium-sized business owners or business drivers. Talk to us a little bit about what that all means and why should we care? Why should we, as small business owners, should we care about that stuff?
Well, first of all, small, medium businesses are the heart of the country's economy, and I know you guys talk about that quite a lot. And I am all about supporting businesses to be successful. And I've had a long history of being in business of various kinds, manufacturing businesses and service businesses, and those I've seen such an evolution within businesses themselves, especially as it relates to information. In the early days, I saw a lot of PLCs and sensors on machines in manufacturing, for example, but those were disaggregated systems. They really didn't have any intelligence.
What's a PLC, Dave? Just to make sure.
A programmable logic controller.
Okay.
To control drives and so on. And at a point in time, we began to really be enamored with the idea of predictive maintenance, for example. And predictive maintenance is a great thing because you're anticipating when something is going to break or fail, and you interact beforehand and keep things running. Well, frankly, we were ahead of our time there because the systems didn't exist to be able to pull in, aggregate that data, much less process it. So I'll roll the tape forward a little bit into PCs. I was working before we had desktops and laptops in abundance anyway. But only when Windows and Macs began to have applications developed for them to use the power of that computer did they really become useful to all of us as consumers. Same thing with phones. We think about now, anything you do, you have to download the app for whatever that is onto your Apple or Android device. But the usability of phones really took off once the ecosystem was developed of app developers for all sorts of purposes. And now, not only are the apps useful to the user, but they're also very useful to the app developer as they monetize their skills in providing those things. So, large computers, supercomputers, everything has its language that it uses, but also requires the application to be developed to make it usable. And I think that in the case of AI, we're now in what I read, and I don't profess to be any technical expert in much of anything, just a user of a lot of things. But we're in the second generation of AI now. The first was reactive AI, and now we're in the second generation where there's a limited amount of memory for the machine to be able to actually use a lot of data and begin to derive useful information from that data. That's one of the things that I have talked about for years and years. How do we convert all the data that we have into information that we can actually use to improve our business?
What's the danger, Dave? As you gave that analogy, I really love it. The idea of the ecosystems, whether they be an Android, Apple, Microsoft type of world, that really is something that's important. If we talk about the failure to do so, I've done something in my business and it's performed well since the 90s. Maybe I'm not as fast as some of the other guys. What's the danger in us really not reevaluating and adopting these type of technological advances?
Yeah, the danger in not becoming aware of and then adopting technology that is applicable to the business, and there's a key there I'll come back to, is that others will, and it's all about competition, and thank goodness for capitalism. Everyone doesn't have to be on the bleeding edge of everything, and frankly, application development at any of these levels is it's kind of survival of the fittest, or the best, or the most applicable. So I recommend that businesses really make themselves aware of technologies that could apply to their business. AI, for example, now is being applied at an enterprise level on practically every business function, from marketing and sales through operations, product development, customer service, and so on. And that's good. From a small, medium business perspective, let's let those guys and gals develop those enterprise level systems, because they will then find their way into more cost-effective, lower entry cost applications that we can use in our businesses to make improvement.
And so, Dave, as you look at all this stuff as a small business owner, and they want to eventually, everyone's either going to grow it and hand it off to someone or sell it or whatever. As you look at this, I mean, we all assume everybody understands this, but let's assume someone may not. What's the benefit of doing this stuff? Because there's anytime you implement software or AI type stuff, there's always, there's learning curves. There's all this stuff that has to happen. But what are the benefits to a company?
Well, the the benefit is again converting all of the data that exists into insights that can be used to move the needle, to move the ball down the field is my favorite phrase. For example, there's an AI application for sales improvement, utilizing the data from an existing company's customers' transactions, for example. All the customers, the transactions with those customers, all the products being sold, where they're being sold, and what quantities and so forth. Their existing data, but when moved through AI algorithms specifically focused on this, it provides results on where that company can focus their efforts to increase sales with those existing customers. Let's say, for example, they have a product family, and customer A is only buying 2 out of the 5 or 6 products in that family. Why? So that provides insight for the sales team and the salesperson to go back to their customer and have a dialogue with them about, what do you think about a bundle approach, and therefore they can increase sales, oftentimes quite a lot. You can increase sales 15% or 20% using your own data, but having a much clearer picture of where to apply your efforts.
Dennis, I think this is really actually a good point. If you think about even like a small retail business, right? And you can take things like just understanding traffic patterns and flow within your store as an example. That's something like, hey, if I worked if that was at Walmart or Target as an example, yeah, those guys are going to have those expensive systems to be able to do the monitoring. But if I could just get some general idea to know when the traffic patterns are, I can adjust that to say, hey, maybe we should have a sale on Tuesdays in May because those historically have been really poor traffic days for us. We could encourage people to come on in. Those are things that we can actually leverage today. And certainly with the technologies that Dave's talking about, that can be implemented.
Yeah, the challenge for small business owners is the fact, I was at a seminar the other night, and they were all sitting around there, and we had someone speaking about AI. They've all heard about AI, but they don't know about what are all these different apps. They don't know where to turn. And there was a lot of confusion. And someone said, hey, can we just have a monthly meeting that we get together and all of us share what are the AI apps and tools that we're all different ones using? Because literally every day there's new stuff coming out. There's one that I'm using called Scribe for training. Oh my God, it has made life so much easier for training materials. It would take me hours to do training materials. Now in less than 2 minutes, I can have people through the process. It does all the imaging and ready to go. I think I pay, $150 a year for it. It's like, it's the best $150 I've spent because it frees up people. Or before I had to hire someone to do that. Well, Dave, if you're trying to grow your business or sell your business, that's expenses that you just avoided that makes your business that much more valuable because of that little tool. And there's all kinds of little things like that out there in the marketplace that, I think there's people that are definitely the go-getters, but there's a lot of people just are afraid of it or don't even know where to turn or what to ask it or what to do, or they've all heard of ChatGPT or all these other ones. But it's like, what is AI? And it's like helping people kind of navigate that maze.
Yeah, I think that each business owner has the interest in growing the value of their business, supporting employees, supporting the customers, and so on. The danger of not adopting the appropriate technologies for that business is that other competitors will, and the business owner, is going to be faced with some challenges ultimately. And I think one of the challenges that we all deal with is that it's hard to keep up with what's available. New technologies or new applications, particularly in the AI space, are being developed all the time. And we don't know what to look for. We don't know where to look for it, oftentimes beyond Googling it, perhaps. But So I think that in my case, my company is focused on helping business owners improve the value from current state to future state, to close that gap, and to apply both technology and methodologies to help improve functions from sales through marketing, HR, operations, finance, and so on. So there are a lot of companies that do consulting, management consulting, but my focus for a long time has been how technology can be used to enable change, enable improvement. And I don't, I'm not promoting ERP systems or enterprise level things. I'm focused on very specific solutions that can be applied within those functional areas, such as sales, where, for example, I'm an implementer, a certified implementer of an AI technology, and in that case, it can be set up and operating within a matter of days, with a low entry cost and a low annual cost, much less than a full-time employee. That's the power of technology that we all really need to leverage in order to really drive business forward.
And that's where I think as business owners, it's important to, have, because a lot of times you don't have a board of directors. Your board of directors are some friends, is to create a network of 10 to 15 people. And when you guys get together, talk about what you're using for AI and different things. And AI is not, to Dave's point, it's little things. It's not these master expensive things that we hear coming out of Silicon Valley, but it's the fact that instead of using a spreadsheet, you've got some system that you found or some app that you found to help do something. And it can be ChatGPT, but it can be Scribe, like I mentioned, or it could be some other thing that has just helped your particular business or industry do something different. And Dave, I've seen it with many of my clients by just doing some automation and making them more unique and different. It makes them more valuable when companies are looking at it. Because let's say I've got 4 companies that do the same thing, but one has figured out a way to do it a little different and more effective, and they're all 4 of them are for sale. That one that's unique and different and has some unique spin or has a trajectory to do things even more better than the other 3 are going to be worth a lot more than the 3 that don't have that fancy stuff.
Yeah, and it's both effectiveness and efficiency, and both should translate into increased sales and lower cost, and therefore better profitability. That's the name of the game.
That's what, no matter if you're doing AI or the HR person on or whoever we have as the guest, the goal is to help you increase revenue, decrease cost, and make more money at the bottom line.
Yep. Dave, as I'd mentioned before, and Dennis will attest to, this is a very important topic to me. Artificial intelligence, but just technology in general. I think in order for a company to scale, grow, in this day and age, we have to be thinking bigger. And a lot of the stuff that's coming out there right now, it's coming at us fast and furious. This is a huge topic. And I know people out there will want to talk to you a little bit more about this, maybe have some specific questions that applies to their business. What's the best way, Dave, for someone to get a hold of you?
So I'd like to make one point just before I say that, because I missed this. AI is an enabling technology. It's a tool. It's most powerful when it's combined with human intelligence. So when AI and HI are combined smartly, that's when the magic occurs. And anyone that would like to talk about that further can reach me at Dave@ClinchView.net. So ClinchView is all one word, Dave@ClinchView.net.
Yep, Dave@ClinchView.net. I think that this will be a fascinating topic that we're really just kind of at the beginning of this from an AI perspective. More to come. You want to make sure you're in touch with Dave and other experts that can tell you a little bit more about how this would help your company. Dave, thank you so much for stopping by today. We really appreciate it.
All the best.
Yeah, thanks a lot.
All right, take care. Well, Dennis, that's another podcast in the can. I know that A lot of you all want to know how to get in touch with us. Dennis, what's the best way for folks to be able to get a hold of you?
Yeah, email's by far the best for me. It's Dennis J, so DENNISJ at worksolution.com. And that's WORX solution, no S at the end, so solution.com. Benny, how about you?
Yeah, same thing. Get a hold of me. My email address is benny@velocitytechnology.group. That's BENNY at velocitytechnology.group. Also, for me and Dennis, you can find us on LinkedIn. Look for us on LinkedIn. Work from home with two guys is on LinkedIn. And we also have a website, WFH2guys.com. Look us up. You'll find all the past episodes and some little bits of information that maybe we don't get a chance to talk to on the podcast. We put it out there too as well.
And definitely share us with your friends and people in your network.
Absolutely. Let us know what we can do to make this podcast your podcast. Give us some ideas. If you'd like to be a guest, let us know. We'll talk to you guys soon.
You've been listening to WFH with Two Guys. We'll see you next time.